Hello everyone, welcome to the Average Student IS. Today is 21st Jan 2019. I am going to start the complete discussion on the Hindu. So let's start with the first editorial. Here I will be discussing the three most important editorial of the Hindu of 24th Jan 2019. So let's start with the first editorial, that is related to our EVM electronic voting machine, which has been in question mark from the several few days. So you can relate this with our paper 2 part. So let's start actually there has been some issue that has been highlighted by our political party, that they have question mark our integrity of our EVM system. They have said that our EVM system actually leads to manipulation, and most of the time it has been hijacked, and most of the political party win because of just tampering the EVM system. So there has been some issue that has been highlighted, that the EVM system has been in question mark because of the possibility of electoral fraud by manipulating the technology that drives that machine. So they were telling that we just manipulate the technology, and whenever we cast our vote to our selected party, it just goes to another party which each has already encoded. So actually election commission has implemented several layers in order to verify that while you are casting your vote, it must go to your choice of your representative. That's why election commission has implemented the voter verifiable paper audit trail VVPAT, in order to show you that while you are pressing that button, that here right side it is shown that here you select your button, that which political party you are choosing, and here in the VVPAT you will get to know that yes, you have selected the right button. That's why election commission has implemented that. Despite several assurances by the Election Commission of India, the robustness of the administrative and technical safeguard to prevent the tampering, a lot of robust mechanism has been adopted by the Election Commission. In spite of that, there has been a lots of questioning about that whether our EVM system is secure or not. So let me tell you that what is the actual issue. Actual issue is that most of the time whenever we send the EVM system for voting purposes, there will be some kind of a glitches or a machine failure that has been reported, or this glitches has been misreported as a EVM hacking. So this cannot be done. That every machine has some kind of a technical fault while operating. You must be know that while you are using your mobile phone, that definitely sometimes it's have some kind of a problem. Even WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube have some kind of a problem they face. That's why we can't tell them that it is a kind of a hacking. Error must be happen in any kind of an instrument. It can be happen while transporting that instrument from one place to another place. So it is inevitable that error can't be happen. So it has been said that there has been 20% failure during UP election in 2018. So it's happened. It's not we can't tell them that it's just only because of the EVM hacking there has been some failure. So that's why in order to deal with some kind of a question mark, election commission has introduced VVPAT system in order to verify that your vote is going to the correct place or not. So here has been some argument has been placed by Election Commission of India in favor of the EVM. So he has said that software which is written is one-time programmable chip. So the chip which has been placed in the EVM is only one-time programmable. It cannot be reprogrammed again, because as you know that you must have the time heard about the single-time programmable machine, like you have seen the CD which is not writable. So you can write only one time in that CD. After the second time you are not allowed to write. That same way this chip works. Only one time the program can be burnt, next time no program will be burnt in that. In the same way, this machine is not network, means that nothing connected with that. It is not a network based machine, so nothing will be connected with that. And the lack of any frequency and receiver or wireless detector, wireless decoder, which has not been in this EVM system, so no external communication could be made to tamper the EVM. So same way, we don't have any kind of a receiver or a wireless decoder, then how external communication can be made to tamper the EVM system. In order to advance the EVM system more, it has implemented with self-diagnostic technology. So in order to make this tamper-proof among all other. So that's why it has been adopting a new technology to in order to tackle this problem of this tampering. With this opting, this technology had helped in evading some of the misgiving experienced by EVM used in the other countries. So in the previous article we have highlighted that Germany has abandoned this EVM system in 2009 and they have opted for a wallet system. So the kind of technical glitches they have, we don't have some kind of a technical glitches in our EVM system. That's why Election Commission has told that our EVM is much more secured as compared to the other nations EVM. So that's why it has been highlighted. Some administrative safeguard has also been opted to EVM in order to prevent any kind of tampering. Like we have a rigorous check at the various level, as Election Commission has implemented several rigorous check. At the manufacturing level it has implemented and on that it has randomly deploying the machine, not the single machine has been deployed at the same place. So again it has listing the candidate in alphabetical order rather than on a party basis on the ballot units. That's why it's also innovating some kind of a way that's no kind of a tampering with the EVM system or a hacking of the EVM system can be taken. Even the sealing of the machine is done by the political party representative after polling. So in front of the representative the sealing of the machine has been done, and after that it is stored in a highly secured strong room. Then how you can say that it is going to breach or it can be tampered? Same way Election Commission has asserted that all these have made tampering impossible. So some measures has been suggested that some measures can also be opted in the EVM system so as to make it more vibrant and more strong and more secured. Currently it has been said that we record the vote of the VVPAT only on a random choosing poll booth in each assembly segment. So it has been highlighted that some statistician has suggested that the more robust count of VVPAT slip could entail the setting of a state-wise number of booths to be counted. This is adjusted for the population, voting turnout and other factors. Actually they were telling that we don't have a specific or a criteria for a VVPAT counting. We can randomly choose state-wise according to their voting turnout or according to their population. So this is a legitimate suggestion that the Election Commission of India should pay head in order to dispel any lingering doubts about the electoral process. So here has been some writer has highlighted some benefit of a EVM. So according to some researchers like Simka Ravi has highlighted that the use of EVM has led to a significant decline in the election fraud. Like definitely a lot of rigging, booth capturing has been done during the balance system. In many states even resulted in the voter turnout, especially in the vulnerable and poor sections of the Indian electorate. So these are the benefits of that. Due to this use of EVM, we have totally eliminated the invalid vote, which led to a lots of result delayed or some kind of a misgathering, misrepresentation due to. So that's why it has eliminated totally invalid votes. So in conclusion, it has been said that EVM has served the purpose which was the reason for its deployment by the Election Commission of India in the first phase, to assure free and fair election and to ease the process of the voting. So it is the main purpose, that is the voting process, and the election should be fair, free and fair. No and any kind of you can say that any kind of a rigging or a booth capturing cannot be done. So definitely it has served that purpose. Although the improvement of the EVM is certainly possible but return to a ballot is an untenable proposition, because we are not going to return at the ballot system, because lots of problem has been with the ballot system in terms of time, money, and in rigging and booth capturing. So definitely it's a good system EVM, but we need to have certainly change in that system. Okay, next article we can relate with paper 2, health related. This issue is you can relate with paper 2, and after that what is this article related to. So this article is actually related to health sector of India and our spending on the health sector in terms of GDP. So actually this article has compared with the neighboring countries such as Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Bhutan, because they have a better health indicator as compared to India. So here question arises that how these countries make a great escape from the disease of poverty earlier than the much bigger country like India. So India's health achievement is even low as compared to the large and the populous country such as China, Indonesia and Brazil. So let us understand that why India is lagging in terms of health indicator. So that there are a lot of challenges and our spending has been low, quite low. That's why we are lagging in these terms. So let us tell you that why India is lagging in this. India's revenue of the GDP 5%. India's revenue of GDP was 5% in 1950 to 51 to 7. Right now it has 17% of GDP revenue in 2016 and 17. But its public spending on health continue to be around 1% of a GDP for many decades as compared to the other countries spending. They have 2 to 4% of the GDP among the developing countries. Here example has been given that Ghana, Thailand, Sri Lanka, China and South Africa has 2 to 4% of the GDP, which is quite much more higher than India's spending. That's why India is failing in terms of health indicator, and we must have to focus on this. And due to this low spending by the government, there has been a substantial increase in out-of-pocket expenditure, and this is due to this out-of-pocket expenditure push millions of the people into the poverty and deter them to the poor from using the health services. So they were not going to take any kind of a health services because they were not been capable to pay that so much amount in terms of the health. That's why most of the people die because of not having proper health facility in India. Although India has implemented the National Health Mission in order to redress this widening socio-economic inequalities in health, but the National Health Mission with a budget less than 0.2% of the GDP is far less to take a major impact on our health sector. Definitely another attempt has been taken in the last year by implementing a Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Here Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana with an allocation of 2000 crore, but it is actually a far more less than what has been needed to achieve. So it is not going to be a game changer for the government in terms of the health sector. Again, as a percentage of GDP, total government spending was merely 0.98% in 2014-15, 1.02% in 2015-16. So these are all data which has been presented that government spending has not been never increased more than the 1%. It continued to be sticky to the 1%, which does not increase despite our robust economic growth for the year. Right now we are fastest growing economy in the world. Despite of that, we never have increased our health spending. So here steps needs to be taken. Some steps suggested by the writer that needs to be taken in order to increase our health spending is that there is a need for a substantial increase in the allocation for a health in the forthcoming union budget. So right now we are going to have 2019 and 2020 budget, so we need to increase the health spending. However, the rise of the government spending also depend on the spending of the state, because they account for 2/3 of the total spending. Definitely state governments should also endeavor to promote the health system, health sector, and they also increase their health spending also. So here in the conclusion has been said that both center and state must increase their health effort, which could reduce the burden of out-pocket expenditure and improve the health status of the population. So as per the status of now 2000 budget, which would be see public health spending sticking to 1%, and this will mean India would without doubt miss the 2025 target, which failed to achieve universal health coverage. Next article you can relate with paper 3 in economy part, that there is a gap between a lot of states which has been developing and which has developed more. So here what is the issue? Let us see that what actually the issue is. Actually the poor states continue to be lag behind the richer one in terms of economic growth. According to a report presented by rating agency Crisil have found that there has been a interstate disparity have widened in the recent year, because a lot of disparities has been highlighted. You can, if you look at the economic survey, it has highlighted that some states have better earning in terms of after the implementation of GST, they have better earning and they have better export as compared to the lots of states. Many low income states has experienced a low income economic growth as compared to the national average. So a lots of states has been highlighted in the report that they have low economic growth as compared to the national average. In fact, in the recent report, it has been highlighted that Bihar in fact is the fastest growing state among the 17 non-special category state evaluated by the report, but it has failed to bridge the widening gap with the richer states, since they have simply not been able to maintain this healthy growth rate over a sustained period of time. That's why they were not been able to bridge that gap. So also report suggested that at least during the fiscal year 2018, government spending may have boosted the due to government spending, these states have boosted their economic growth of the Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. Definitely it is only going to increase with the fiscal deficit. This spending has increased their fiscal deficit, and the impact of the greater spending was that 10 to 17 state has breached the 3% of the fiscal deficit limit set by the Fiscal Responsibility Budget Management Act. So definitely, if we are going to spend more, then there is going to be a more spending by the state, and it will be going to breach our fiscal deficit, as it will be also not be adhering to our act, that is the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. Many other big spending states, however, not managed to achieve the growth of the national average, like Punjab, Kerala, which is at the bottom of the growth table and are ranked as highlighted by the reports. So this suggests that the size of the public spending is probably not what differentiates the richer state from the poorer state. Other variable like strength of the state level institution as a gauge by ability to uphold the rules of law and create free and competitive market for business to thrive, and the quality public spending could be a crucial determinant of the long run with the growth prospect of the state. So definitely these all measures should be taken by a low economic growth states, and they should try to implement all these in order to make their state more vibrant, more economic growth and more prosperous for their people. Okay, thank you very much.